You've been hanging on to it all weekend. Now is the time to let it all go. Roy, it's been a very, and this is a word I don't often use, wicked weekend. It's been a wicked couple of days. Where do you want to start?
It's been sick.
Sick?
It's been a sick weekend. I tell you, I am ropeable.
Yes.
And that's a word I haven't used on the Monday dump since week one. I'm absolutely ropeable. A great friend of ours and former hero of ours, that is the great white shark, Gregory Norman, the shark associated with Holden, the shark Holden International. And if we can have a look at a bit of the shark now to remind you of what he looks like in the context of the shark Holden International. This is the shark we know and love, with Holden emblazoned behind him, proudly putting in. There he is, Shark. The Shark Enterprises associated with the Shark Holden International here on Channel 7, giving away Holdens there on Channel 7. Some bloke there has won a Holden, and he only likes it because the shark drives it, i.e. the shark in a statesman, we've seen it year in and year out, has gone to...
Where?
To Toyota. The shark has gone to Toyota. I find this very hard to believe. How is this? I mean, we accepted the shark, you know, with the golf clubs, fitting it in the boot of the statesman and driving along looking good. And now, can we accept the shark fitting his golf clubs into the back of a Corolla?
No, we cannot, Roy. We cannot.
It won't work.
And this, let me say to the audience right off the top of the bat, he's the 8th most recognisable sportsman in Australia. The 8th. Count them. There they are, the 8th. Everybody, if you ask 10 people, 8 of them will know who the shark is. I think it works something like that.
Yes.
Or only 2 will know who he isn't.
That's right. Now only 1 in every 8 people know about Holdens.
Yes. Holden
sales have plummeted since the shark has been associated with Holden.
Right. And now, of course, the only upside is and I don't want to... Look, I love the Toyota Motor Company. They're tremendous people to do.
Beautiful motor company.
Make a lovely car. They've got brands like Prado, Echo, Corolla. Crown in the original. Oh, they probably still make a Crown
Toyota
now.
Crown.
Oh, what a mark that was, the Crown.
Crown.
You could hit it with a sledgehammer and not one panel of dent. Now, is that bloody good? Now, having said that, I think Toyota need to go back and rethink this. Because when was the last time Shark won anything? When was the last time Shark got a big fat purse to shove in the boot of something, whether it be a Holden or a Corolla or a Toyota? When was the Shark ever a form, you know, ever a form runner in world golf? Oh, no, the Shark's been on a downward spiral for some time.
Just like Holden.
And now, Holden are on the way up. They're sharkless. They're shark-free. They're zooming to great sales. Toyota on the other hand. Look out. You've got the shark on board. Those clubs in the boot won't help you. You'll have to do a lot
Clanking
more.
around.
Wacka, wacka. Yeah. Oh, no, it's very sad. Very sad day for motor racing. Well, you know, all over the place. Motorsport, motor things, cars, and golf. That's what I don't like about it, golf. Because when the shark shoot at us, we saw then, Holden and golf fitted together.
That's right.
I just can't see...
Well, I mean, you can stretch the imagination a little bit and you can imagine the shark and the statesman. You know, hey, there goes Sharky. How are you, bud? In an Avalon?
No.
Or a Lexan? Lexus?
Yeah, Lexus. Yeah,
was it Ben Lexus or Ben Lexus?
No, Lexan was... that goes back a bit. Lexus is the modern one. The modern...
Well, I just can't see him in it.
No, neither can I. Well, you see, you can't. We can't pronounce it.
No.
Now, we'd like to welcome members of the audience from the Sydney Water Police. They've had their hands full. I just hope life for Water Police isn't like Life on Water Rats, the television show, because, you know...
There's so much crime.
There's so much crime. Just people being bumped off willy-nilly. Boats having to get out of the road.
Every half-baked bloody criminal in the world thinks, let's go to Sydney. Bloody hell, let's go onto the water and commit our crime.
No one will catch us.
No, won't find us there.
Also, bloody hell. Members of the orthopaedic surgeons from St Vincent's Hospital who have been doing a lot of knees. They had a run on knees this week after the weekend on football. Yeah, they've done a lot of knees.
Is Merv crossing?
I hope so. Merv's going to give a clinic afterwards.
Is he?
Anybody in the audience.
You're going to bust someone's knee and put it back together.
That's right. Now, we do start the show on a slightly downer note with problems of Australian superstars of sport being lured to play for other nations. And this morning, Jelena Dokic, or Dokic,
Take your pick.
Won the Italian Open. Here's Jelena in action. The final point here against Maresmo, Enclave, of course, her first big win as playing for Yugoslavia.
Yes.
And there she's very, very happy. Now, that's the way it works for Jelena.
Yeah.
Two other superstars of Australian sport, and should I say, in the top 10, there's Shark at 8, and I have these three people above
Well
him.
above.
Well above him.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a lot of daylight from 7 to 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, firstly, Jai Turima.
Jumping Jai.
Jumping Jai, who was electrified Sydney at the Sydney Olympics, getting a silver in the long jump. He's a bloke who likes a fag, running along, stubs out the fag and leaps into a heap of sand.
Yeah.
And now he's been asked to turn out for New Zealand, Roy.
I know. It's shocking, isn't it? It's shocking, isn't it? Look, I put it down to the federal government not putting enough money into Australian sport.
Is it as simple as that?
I mean, these are our heroes. Jumping Jai, the centimetre guy. We love him. We loved him. We loved him in the Olympics. We loved his fag and his haughty style and the hair, the glasses, the look at me, look. All of that. Had Toyota written all over it.
The fifth most recognisable sporting identity in Australia.
And those stupid old New Zealanders.
Yes, want him.
Then why don't we buy a silver medalist? They've thought it through, haven't they?
Yeah, sticks about here, though. On the other hand, Michael Diamond, the man who has just recently returned from the World Trap title with a win, he's been approached, I hope we've got the sound for this one, he's been approached by the Greek government to turn out for Greece. Let's have a look at Michael now.
I got approached by the Prime Minister of Greece and, you know, he said, look, you know, we want you to come and shoot for us in 2004.
What a tragedy that'd be. I mean, I've got that trap shot right there, a gold in the hip pocket already in 2004.
I know.
I don't think anybody else is going to get between us and gold in 2004.
Well, see, there hasn't been enough money in it for Michael. You know, he should get a lot more. You know, the poor bugger, he went over to Atlanta, came back with gold. Car was stolen the next day. You know, runabouts. Did the government step in and say, oh, here, mate, here's a brand new...
Toyota.
Yeah, or a Holden.
Holden. Have you no Greg
Here's
Norman?
8 Holdens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just use them up and go on to the next one.
That's right. It might have been a Holden that got nicked too. Or it might have been a Ford, I can't remember. It was red anyway.
Well, let's hope that sanity does prevail here and maybe we can take up a subscription.
Yes.
I mean, when this news broke, I just stood on the corner of, you know, up in Chatswood, on the highway through Chatswood and just at the lights there, and I managed to raise 4.2 million in about half an hour.
Yeah, easy. I mean, people will put in. Yeah. People would accept a levy.
Yeah, a levy.
It wouldn't be seen as a tax hike. No. This would be a levy, a sporting levy to keep our champions here. You know, we're willing to pull into the pockets for HIH. Yeah. Speaking of which, HG, good news.
Yes, good news.
A lot of people have thought, oh, insurance, oh, why bother? Because it's all hopeless. Well, we noticed the NRL referees have clinched sponsorship with AAMI. You know, and a lot of people thought, well, I'm not going to get into insurance anymore. You know, they were with FAI before, folded, part of HIH. Now they're with AAMI. So that gives a lot of confidence to Australian consumers to think, insurance, well, I might give that a go.
Yeah. Now, did money change hands or did they get a lot of contra for that? A lot of household policies and car policies for the referees?
I think they would have got hundreds of Holdens and Toyotas.
Right, yeah, good.
To hear that.
Now, the good news, though, is this at last, and Roy and I on the dump have been pleading with this for the government to get involved in this one, and that is the Racing Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
We're not sure quite when the Hall of Fame is going to be, well, where the Hall of Fame is going to be placed. We know when it's going to be opened, on June the 13th. I understand there's a garage in Sunbury area of Melbourne, which will be opened up as the Racing Hall of Fame. And the first horse into the Hall of Fame is Far Lap.
No.
And they've had a tremendous result here, as we see the big red on screen. Now, he could do the lot. He could follow a train around a yard, he could roll in the sand, and he could stand upright, and every so often he'd put in a bottler of a run. Here he is, I think, winning the 1930 Melbourne Cup with a lot of daylight second. And Roy...
What a personality
he was a tremendous personality.
You know, and there was still so many kiddies interested in Far Lap, you know. How big was he? You know?
The heart.
The heart, you know, his flute.
Yes, how long?
So many kids. Tell me about his flute. You know, how big was it? And you've got to say, really big. Going to the Hall of Fame. You know?
Look...
What other horses are going in? Is the great Carbine? What a horse.
Tulloch.
And Tulloch?
Tulloch, yeah, Tulloch's
the swayback mare?
Yes, yes.
Beautiful.
Look, two horses that I'd like to see in there is, firstly, Rooting King.
Yes.
So I think it's going to...
Well, Rooting King's still alive. Are you allowed to...
Put a live one in there.
Put a live one in?
I think they've all got to be dead uns, as nearly as I can tell.
Peter Pan?
Peter Pan would be well and truly dead by now. But Rooting King, I think, could stand out in a crowd of dead uns and just...
well, the kiddies could still play with him.
They could. They wouldn't have to ask questions.
Get underneath them.
Look up. Yeah, you wouldn't have to tell them how long it was. You could show them how long it was. The other horse I'd like to see in there is Solar Boy's Son, a mysterious horse from Victoria, who I think at last count lost 125 times on the trot.
Is that right?
And I think that does enough to get him in the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame?
Yes, it's tremendous.
Hall of Duds?
Well, you know, there's some winners and losers in there. That's the beauty of racing, really.
Kaibar TikTok.
Kaibar TikTok.
What a horse!
Yes, incredible. Incredible. Now, Roy, you've established an internet poll.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got to do with shark.
Yes, it is. Actually, the poll is as follows. The great white shark is A, is an absolute champion. B, is Mr Holden statesman. C, could become Mr Toyota. Or D, looks an arse clown in any car. And you can join that by joining us on themondaydump.i7.com.au.
And finally, in this first section, look, Rick Lacey produced a tremendous horse at Flemington today, race 2, and we go to the break with the exciting win of a horse that I believe can go on. He's done good today. He can certainly go all the way to the Hall of Fame, and you could probably get a ride on him to go to it. But I think he's done good today. He's done good in the past, and I think the horse can go on and done good in the future. Have a look at Hello Boys winning the second at Flemington today as we go to the break on the Monday Dump.
Of the class on the flat, the leader. Hello Boys coming after it from Tone Princess and Marbella not far off them on the grandstand side on their own, but Hello Boys is after Ducks of the class with about 50 to go. Hello Boys has taken over the running on the inside, and it's Hello Boys taking it out. Hello Boys first, probably Ducks of the class will be second. Hard to line up where Marbella's finished. She's not far away there with Tone.
This news update is brought to you by the Commonwealth Bank, helping you make it happen.
Good evening. Victims of the HIH collapse can receive help from the federal government's $500 million rescue package if claims are made by June the 12th. The Howard government's bowed to pressure today and announced there will be a royal commission into Australia's biggest corporate collapse. On the eve of the federal budget, pensioners, self-funded retirees and businesses appear to be the big winners. The opposition says the move's an admission that the GST has hurt more than the Prime Minister said it would. Australia's most expensive party is underway at Sydney's Fox Studios, the $1 million premiere of the Baz Luhrmann-directed Moulin Rouge, starring Nicole Kidman. And a New Zealand supermarket owner has recreated Mona Lisa using 2,000 pieces of toast. Details late news.
Now you can buy the cool Nokia 3310 for just $1 on B's $9 per month plan. You'll be on a quality network, plus we'll give you free voicemail. So call B now on 13 33 44 or visit our website and buy direct and save.
Courier this urgently, Jones. It's got to be there tomorrow.
For guaranteed next business day delivery.
Jones, courier. Spare no expense.
At a fraction of the cost of a courier, there's a range of prepaid express post envelopes and satchels.
Now, these courier costs. They're Jones' department, sir. They're down. Keep it up.
For cheaper next business day delivery with a guarantee, don't use a courier. Use express post from Australia Post.
shampoo my hair. I really love my decorator. And I love the feeling, so does the family. Oh, yeah.
Go Harvey Norman for 36 months interest-free terms. 36 months interest-free on lounge and dining suites, sofas, outdoor furniture and much more. 36 months interest-free terms now at Harvey Norman. Minimum purchase $500, 1/3 deposit. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Go Harvey Norman, go!
Why women pay more.
I think it's totally unfair.
Clothes, hair, cars, even real estate.
So I got the good deal.
Outrageous results of the shopping survey no woman should miss.
This is unacceptable behaviour.
On Today Tonight.
Yes. And now on The Dump, it's time to welcome a very special guest who's about to leave on a one-day mission to England as a prelude to the Ashes series. Let's welcome Michael Bevan. Look, you've just returned from India and let's go to that final match there. I think you got man of the match. You made 87 not out and clinched the game. You are clocking a 6, I think, to start with, way back into the rickety bamboo stands. And then you come, I think you might get a 4 off this shot here. And I'm not sure, probably sequential balls here. You're batting so well at this stage. Another 4 out there, and there it is. It's all over. Can you remember that at all?
Yeah, it's still there in my memory somewhere.
Yes. Some cricketers, of course, remember everything. You know, I take it, the Dean Jones school, apparently. You can remember every shot he makes. And others forget it all as soon as they've done it. Yeah. Of course, I think Dean Jones is a liar myself, but that's a separate issue. Do you remember a lot of the shots and innings you make?
Yeah, you tend to remember the good stuff. You somehow forget about the bad stuff. But I think Glenn McGrath remembers every wicket and how he got the wickets.
And he often tells you about it?
All the time.
Yes. You used to take it very personally, though, when you made a dud shot and got out when you were younger. And you used to stew about this. How did you overcome that? Just sort of think, oh, it's a total waste of time, I can't do anything about it, so I might as well move on, or...?
Yeah, you know, well, you start losing a few friends and things like that, and then you sort of decide that you've got other things to do after you finish cricket, or you're going to finish cricket. But no, you know, when I was young, I had a bit of a temper, I suppose, and at the end of the day, I just thought, look, you know, it is a waste of time, and why keep doing it?
Yes. Now, you're off to England, as I mentioned, for the one-day series, and on the way to England, you're going to Gallipoli. And I think you have to now play some cricket at a place called, I think it's Sleepy Green. We've got a picture of the pitch there. I've had a look at this pitch. I think it wouldn't last 5 days in a test match, but it probably takes a lot of spin on the last day. But what exactly are you going to do there? Are you going to set up the stumps and try and pick up a local side to play against, or is it just a walk around?
Oh, look, I'm not too sure, to tell you the truth. I think we're going to retrace the steps of the Anzacs and, you know, have a look around.
What, from the boats at night, dawn, come up the cliffs and so on?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll go that far, but...
Well, I've always thought that it'd be great if somehow the nations, you know, obviously Australia and Turkey, could get together and find a Turkish side who could put up an opposition, maybe obviously 11 blokes who might come from Australia or have been to Australia and understood the rudiments of the game. And I think that would be a fitting tribute to people who obviously served there, that, you know, old foes could meet over a game of cricket.
Or maybe a game somewhere in between soccer and cricket, because they're quite good at soccer, so, you know, a bit like Gaelic football,
half?
You know.
Yes.
Something
First
like that
half
would work
soccer?
well.
Yes, that's right. Second half cricket.
Yes. Or you play cricket and they shoot at you.
It's a bit one-sided, that, I'd say.
Yeah. That'd be the closest you could get to a reenactment. Michael, you are the best one-day cricketer in the world, and have been for quite a few years now. The best one-day batsman in the world, without doubt, by any benchmark. You must have been approached by bookies. You must have been approached, mate. You must have been. You'd be the first bloke. The Australian team has arrived in, you know, subcontinent, let's say, Mumbai. John the bookie, he'd go through, who's in the team? Bevan! You'd be the first bloke approached. What did he say to you?
I think they approach the guys that like their cash. I think that's their best chance.
But I saw you on Burke's Backyard last Friday, and you said we like the cash.
I was taken out of context.
Oh, right.
Burke's Backyard to do that to
Yeah, well, I suppose they would. I suppose they would.
Channel 9, isn't it?
Yeah, it is
true,
Channel 9.
Channel 9.
I know. Don't get me started on that bloody Burke's Backyard because they gave you poor advice vis-a-vis the box hedge. You wanted a box hedge.
Yeah, my mum can't get over it. She's distraught.
Don suggested parlour palms. Well, they're ugly. They're awful. They die. The leaves wither on the outside. They're susceptible to salt. I mean, it's just rubbish, that advice. But getting back to the bookies. You mean they've never phoned you? Never, ever, ever, never once, never, no whispers, never?
No.
They're so stupid.
They are.
Because if you nobble Michael,
yes,
you've got the team.
Now, Ian Botham has come out overnight, over the weekend in England and said that up to $1 billion US are now bet on one-day cricket fixtures, on the single outcome of a game. You know, that's about 1.9 billion Australian. Now, I haven't looked at the screens recently, but I think the dollar's up around the 53-cent mark. 1.9 billion Australian on single matches of one-day cricket. It's an enormous amount of money. What can be done about it? I mean, I believe that less one-day matches. I know this wouldn't help your particular cause much, because you're very good at the one-day game, as Roy's just pointed out, but less matches might be a bit of a start, and not so many stupid fixtures. You know,
United Arab Emirates, they're sort of weirdo desert games that nobody gives a rat's franger about. I mean, you must hate going to those, Mike. It's a circus.
Look, I'm surprised you're really asking me the question because you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. But it's a staggering amount of money, isn't it? And you would think that, you know, you don't hear whispers of things that are going on or, you know, so-and-so said $1 billion was bet on, say, Eritrea v Kenya. I'm not sure. It'd be probably an even money bet, but, you know.
No, I've sort of... No, I was a part of the tour that where Tim May, Shane Warne and Mark Waugh were approached, and it was my first tour, and I actually didn't hear anything about it. Because it might have been my first tour, I don't know, but no, it hasn't come across me at this stage.
Yes.
Look, with the just setting that aside for a moment, with the upcoming tour of England, how competitive are they going to be, Michael? I mean, they beat Pakistan in a test match our time this morning, but can we use Pakistan as a rule of, you know, to get a line through their form here at the moment? I mean, are they looking as if it's going to be a reasonable series coming up, Australia v England?
Yeah, I think if you... you know, don't take the match fixing into account. It should be, you know, a pretty good test for them.
And this new bowler they've unearthed, I think his name's Ryan Sidebottom. Now, he's been described as a new Andy Caddick. Is he as good as Andy Caddick? Because Andy Caddick's pretty ordinary.
Haven't faced him of late.
So, are you getting any whispers? Have they got any surprises, any shocks for you?
Apart from Sidebottom, no, I think they're a team that is probably growing in confidence, and they've won their last 3 or 4 series, I think, so they're feeling, you know, pretty good about themselves. So, you know, they're obviously be keen to take the Aussies on, I suppose.
And Nasser Hussain, how good is he as a captain? I mean, he's a bit haughty, isn't he? He keeps to himself. He's a sedan chair specialist, that sort of... you know.
I don't know, what does haughty mean?
Haughty, well, a bit up himself.
Oh, OK.
Tickets. Don't want to go out in the wind often. Yes, the tickets blow off.
No, he seems OK. He seems OK. He's obviously doing the trick for the English. They're playing pretty well, so they'd be happy with him, I think.
Look, we do feel as though we've got a message for the team, and that is that we were shocked by the schmozzle of India. You know, we expected 3 blot in the tests, and obviously all the one-days our way. You know, that was what we expected. That's what we sent the team over there to do. And we believe, basically, that the team made a fundamental mistake getting to know, going to the beauty spots, getting involved in, you know, trying local foods and culture and things like that. That's all very well, Michael, once the games are in the bag. But you can see exactly the acid of India got to the team and rotted out their will and their fibre. I mean, mercifully, you arrived late with the one day and you rescued the whole bloody thing. It was up to you to carry the Australian flag forward and nothing like that. For God's sake, don't let it happen in Britain. It's up to you guys to set the standard. Cricket first, then bugger around afterwards if you must. You know, go to, I don't know where, you know, Salisbury Plain and see how bloody small it is. You know, go to St Paul's and climb up in the Whispering Gallery and get a bit of fluff if you must. But wait until the cricket's over. Wait until the cricket's over. Isn't that the advice?
No, that's absolutely right. And when are we going to see you back in the Test team? Because you should be there.
Yes.
You're the best batsman this country's got. What are you going to do about it?
Do you want people to write into the ACB site?
To Alan Border and Buchanan, although Buchanan's not involved anymore. Who else is?
Trevor Holmes.
Trevor Holmes.
Yes, and Malcolm Speed.
Yeah.
Put Bevo in the top side, in the Test side. Yeah. Give Bevo a run.
Give Bevo a go.
Yeah, that's right. Can you see yourself opening against the likes of Side Bottom?
Yeah, I can actually. Come to think of it.
Can't we?
Well, that's the problem, you see. Laughter would be the enemy when you're playing England.
It would.
You know, they're throwing the new ball to Side Bottom. Oh.
I think all Australians will be very disappointed without a 5-0 result in the Tests. I think it's fair to say that. Anyway, Michael, obviously, on behalf of the Dump, we wish you all the very best for the tour of Gallipoli. Hope that's a win there, too. And then when you move on and take on the lesser foe, that is England, you really put it right up them, too. Anyway, thanks very much, Michael. And maybe I should first up give you, this is the belt buckle, of course, which could be worn proudly opening for Australia against Side Bottom and the game there. And we'd present that to you, and maybe you'd like a pair of souvenir Centenary of Federation socks to take along as a bit of a souvenir. Maybe you could give them to Ryan when you meet him over there. And if you could look down the camera with the belt buckle in an appropriate place, and I ask the audience to thank Michael Bevan.
If you think my freestyle's okay, wait until you see Telstra's. They've got some great freestyle deals right now with free offers on overseas calls, mobile calls and internet access. Telstra is also offering you a chance to win a free package for 4 to see myself and the Australian team swim against the world in Japan. So look for me in the Telstra ad in your newspaper for competition details. And for details on their great offers, call the Freestyle Champion now. Telstra.
Suddenly, the biggest obstacles are no problem. Whirlpool's creative shelving system allows customised storage for tall or oversized items. The new Conquest refrigerator from Whirlpool. It's the conquest of space. Whirlpool brings quality to life.
If a man is hungry, give him food to eat. If a stranger's thirsty, give him drink.
Channel 7 Melbourne is proud to support the Salvation Army's Red Shield appeal. The Salvos never give up caring for those in need. Please help make a difference and give to this year's Red Shield appeal. Ring the Salvos with your credit card donation. Call 13 32 30. Thank God for the Salvos.
Go Harvey Norman for 36 months interest-free terms. 36 months interest-free on TVs, stereos, video cameras, fridges, freezers and much more. 36 months interest-free terms now at Harvey Norman. Minimum purchase $500, 1/3 deposit. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Sit it, you great lummox! Come on, move, you stinking creature! How hard can it be, big nose? 1 foot in front of the other, you 10-ton dummy! Crikey, what does it take? Move it, fatso! Oh, move, you dumbo butt, wrinkly piece of cacadoo! Come on,
New cracked pepper thins.
They've got his style. They've got his moves. They've got a plan. Kurt Russell. Let's do it. Kevin Costner. 3,000 miles to Graceland.
How to keep your plants flowering through winter. Plus, a cheap and easy stew bursting with flavour for those cold winter nights. On Better Homes and Gardens Tuesday. Then at 8, a 1-hour special ground force event.
Garden makeover, Battle of the Nations.
Australia versus New Zealand.
Come on!
2 teams.
2 empty gardens.
The Aussies with the hometown advantage.
Looking great.
The Kiwis quietly confident.
We won 2 wars and we're going to win another one today.
Ground Force Tuesday.
This program brought to you by Ford.
This is Beverly Schneider. Beverly won the Australian Ladies Singles Bowls pennant in 1974 by one shot. To win, she resorted to sledging for the first time in her life. At the top of the last end, she whispered to her opponent and good friend Katie Corrigan that she was a useless asshole. She added that she'd been on the job with Katie's husband Merv no less than 29 times, including a bang in the back of the changing rooms at the clubhouse earlier that day. As a result, Katie's final shot came to rest in the gully of an adjacent green. The two have not spoken or seen each other since that day. And this is Katie and Merv Corrigan. So much to talk about. So many memories.
It was a tremendous night, wasn't it?
Great night.
Yes, you got a bit willing later on. And speaking of reunions, I've had a letter from Philip Mortimer, or an email from Philip Mortimer, wondering if we could get Gurners Lane and Kingston Town together. From the 1982 Melbourne Cup, apparently there was a lengthy protest from Gurners Lane rider, and Bianco Lady, who finished fourth, had been pushed into the running rail and ended up coming back to the enclosure with white all over one side. So it'd be tremendous to get those three back together.
Wouldn't it be good?
It would be very, very good.
Very good.
Roy...
There was talk of getting Brian McKechnie and Trevor Chappell back together too.
Oh, yes.
With Greg.
With Greg. Yes, wouldn't that be great? For those who remember the underarm incident from about 1980, a similar period, at the MCG at the end of a very blistering hot summer of cricket. Roy, I love strongest person competitions. I love strongest men. I love strongest women. I just find that, we're not rigorous enough with these competitions these days. Let's have a look at one, or some highlights of one that was held in Europe recently, right now on the dump. Yes, welcome to delightful Gouda Beach here in Holland for the Strongest Man in Europe competition. And there are our contestants on screen now, gathered from all quarters of Europe. First event in the Strongest Man, Roy, hand over hand. What's the nature of the comp here?
Well, the idea, HG, is to pull the car train towards you as swiftly as possible. And you can see Magnus Samuelsson here with excellent technique, not getting too much date rub, which is good.
And before this event, Magnus had the hemorrhoids cut off surgically so he could take his place in the competition. Tremendous. 3 cars in a line, all there with the handbrakes on and the tyres let down and a load of blokes in them. Magnus is very happy.
He looks good, doesn't he?
Very good. Next up is Pasi Pavisto from Finland, a tremendous competitor, lively, interesting, and with a very good technique. Doesn't move the buttocks much, therefore he's not prone to butt rub. No. But Roy, he's not really competitive, though, with his technique.
There's too much slack on the string, actually, as we call it. Slack on the string. And that slack on the string can kill you. And he's come down here, he'll do it in about 21.8 by the looks, or 22.5. Too slow, too slow.
Very uncompetitive. Doesn't it pull a crowd? And don't the crowds get excited here? And here we have boxhead Bevan Venneberg. The most popular strongest man competitor. He's got beautiful technique, and he's got his wife helping him coil the rope in the background. A lovely touch there. A family event in the Venneberg household. Roy, how's he going?
Well, there is a lot of date rub there, HG, but so far so good. Bevan's doing very well, and it looks as if he might have come in second, maybe third, but right up there, right up the top. Well done.
And so after round one, we go to the scoreboard. Magnus Samuelsson first, Bevan Venneberg second, Pasi Pavisto third. Let's move on to the Stones of Strength, my favourite. Roy, the history of this competition.
Yes, it goes right back, actually, to the days of building the dikes to keep the sea out, combining that with cheese making.
Yes, they're progressively weighted stones and progressively weighted cheeses. Laszlo Fertke, first cab off the rank, a tremendous competitor, Roy, and he uses that flute to hold the stone up there before he uses the buttocks to bring it forward and put it on top.
He's using the gut and the flute, I think, a little bit too much, HG. He's fine up to the 160, which he's done, but I think the 180 will find him wanting. He's puts too much effort on the flute.
He's addressing the stone now. He can't get a dude high. No. Oh, no, once the head hits the casket, that's it.
That's it. Oh, no, give up, Laszlo. Come on, fella, off you shoot.
Laszlo, you've had it. You know you're finished. He's going to try once more. Don't let it go at the back door, for God's sake. Don't dump on the sands of Edom here. He can't get it up.
He's a great personality.
A tremendous personality. Well done, Laszlo. And I think next up, here comes the dainty steps of Sven Carlson, Roy.
He's a real dancer, isn't he?
He dances around that cheese and picks it up and plonks it on top of the barrel. He's up to the 150, I think, now. The 140 now. Easy at 140. He moves on to 160. He stops and thinks about it.
Shouldn't
Now
have stopped.
No,
He's
stopped.
buggered. He's gone. He's finished.
Here he gives his tries. He might make this at a sort of a yes. Now he dances up to the 180. And I think this is really where he's lost it. He's thinking about his chest and his hands.
And how attractive he looks.
Yes.
That's what he's thinking.
It's disappointing. The tilt has powdered.
It has. I think he's gone. I think he's a shot duck, actually. Look, I think his head touched the casket there, and as you say, once that happens, you're finished.
And he's still trying.
No, it's just embarrassing. It's unsightly seeing these attractive blokes bent over.
Yeah, that's right. And doing nothing with it. One to go, that's right. And now, here he is, the competition leader, Magnus Samuelsson out. Remember, 6 times.
Magnetic Mangus.
That's right. 6 times strongest man in Sweden. Here he is. He moves quickly along these early stones, and it is a time competition.
He does move quickly for a big man, doesn't he?
140 already. He's going to 160 now, and now the last one. He's 180. Can he get the 180 up and complete the set? He's going to do it.
He'll do it.
I think he's
He'll
going to
do it. The buttocks have got it, the tools got it, the flutes got it, the strap.
There it is. Wonderfully done. And who are you, Magnus? Tell us.
I'm the man.
Thanks very much. And we go to the scores. Magnus Samuelsson first in that competition. Laszlo Fitke second. Sven Carlson third. And look at our 2 competitors from round 1. They're knocking on the door for a place there in Bevan and Parsi. They tied in 4th place in the strongest man in Europe competition. Roy, the marvellous competition, and we're hoping to bring you further stages of that maybe in successive weeks here on the dump.
It's a great idea, isn't it?
It's a tremendous idea. The sad thing about it is that I don't really think it demonstrates real strength. I mean, why weren't they dragging that car chain with their flutes just wrapped over the front bumper, not tied in them to see how far they could go? Why weren't the stones being tugged up on the cruets, you know? Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're real strength. They're real feats of strength that kids would love to see.
They would. We used to have a strongest man in Lithgow competition each year, which wasn't dissimilar to that. No. It was a rope tied round the flute, tied to a bulldozer. And you just had to stand there and stop it while it was in first gear. And stand there and hold it back. That was round 1. Round 2, you'd catch a feral pig and pull its head off.
A time trial, Roy?
Time trial. Round 3 was chopping a tree down with your teeth.
Yeah. Yes.
Strong men.
Yes, very strong men.
Popular.
Popular. Did it pull a crowd?
Oh, yeah.
What disappoints me about that strongest man of Europe is that they didn't promote it. I mean, I'm sure that more people, if they'd known about it, would have loved to have got down to Gouda Beach and had seen it.
Oh, yeah.
There in Holland.
Needs sponsorship.
It does.
Maybe we could get it up and running here. You know, AMI or...
What a good idea.
Yeah.
The strongest man in Asia.
Yeah. Yes.
Sponsored by the Monday Dump and
yes.
AMI.
AMI.
I don't want to give people ideas.
No. No, I think that's a great idea. And we might get that up and running soon.
There'll be more Dump right after this.
There's 4 words that describe the perfect girl Ben Stewart's looking for.
Where's Ben?
Running late?
Sexy, caring, genuine, sincere. Sounds perfect, doesn't she? Blue Healers, Wednesday.
Can you do more with your mobile phone? Can you get to where you want to go? Can you make free calls at night to keep in touch with your friends? Can you roll over your unused included calls for when life gets busy? Can you be sure your network will bring you the things you want now and in the future? With Optus Mobile, yes, you can.
Nelly Furtado's award-winning debut album. If you like the single, you're gonna love the album.
Harvey Norman for 36 months interest-free terms. 36 months interest-free on computers, printers, scanners, fax machines and much, much more. 36 months interest-free terms now at Harvey Norman. Minimum purchase $500, 1/3 deposit. Conditions apply. See store for details.
How many Elvises does it take to take Las Vegas? Kurt Russell, Kevin Costner, Courtney Cox, Christian Slater, David Arquette. Let's do it. 3,000 miles to Graceland.
Imagine if someone you care about has been taken hostage in the same building as you, and you don't even know.
I'm starting to get worried.
How could you save him? Gideon's Crossing, Wednesday, 9:30 on 7.
Good evening. This is the news from rural and regional Australia. I'm multi-award-winning entertainer Jackie Love. The Country Women's Association is in for an image shake-up. A new president is promising to take the organisation from country roads to the information superhighway. Ruth Shanks, a member of the CWA for 32 years, has replaced the popular Patricia Hurley, who has stepped down as the New South Wales State President after serving her 4-year term. Hailing from Dubbo, Mrs Shanks is skilled in communications and says she plans to take the CWA into the next century.
I'm interested in information technology, and I'd like to think that we can take the members and the association into communicating via the internet.
Mrs Shanks says she's worried about living up to expectations, but has promised to try her hardest and put her best foot forward.
I'll just try my hardest and put my best foot forward.
And another shake-up this week with the Murray Grey breed breaking through for a win in Casino's Beef Week Queen contest. Celebrating Federation and the 20th anniversary of Beef Week, 5 contestants represented the Angus, Poll Hereford, Brahman, Santa Gertrudis and Murray Grey breeds at a ceremony held at the Casino RSM Club. Each girl was quizzed on their cattle by Master of Ceremonies and local MP, Thomas George.
Developed by Australians for Australians to meet markets both locally and in export trade.
As expected, the competition went down to the wire, but it was Miss Murray Grey, university student Alyssa Johnson, that broke the 3-year drought for her breed with a flawless display of general knowledge, giving special praise to the cattlemen she represents.
To the judges, I thank you, and most of all to the Murray Grey breeders. Without their support, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Beef Week continues until May 29. A new program based around the joy of fishing is also teaching West Australian children the serious message of fishing conservation. The 2-part fabulous fishing course run by Fisheries WA teaches children how to prepare for their fishing trips before moving on to the basics of casting, rigging and catch sizes.
If we can teach them the basic way of catching a fish and enjoying what they're doing, putting undersized fish back and then coming back another day and enjoying it again, it is all part of the fishing for the future element.
Now a story of one man's passion for petrol. Collector Ricky Glass has turned his outback shed into a full-blown gasoline gallery. This is Ricky Glass's pride and joy, a shed just outside of Katingal filled with motoring memorabilia. Ricky, a dyed-in-the-wool car man, started his collection by placing an old petrol Bowser outside his garage. 4 years down the track, and Ricky's collection now includes over 1,000 pieces, many dating back to the turn of the century. And although it's a private museum, Ricky likes nothing better than sharing Australia's motoring history with travellers passing through.
Yeah, anyone that's more than welcome to come through.
And finally to the markets. 40,000-pound parcels of Australian cattle have been selling at 70.75 US cents per pound, which is a little firmer than last week's price. Whilst 40,000 pounds of live hogs is fetching 68.25 US cents per pound, almost a cent on last figures. That's this week's news from rural and regional Australia. I'm another award-winning entertainer, Jackie Love.
Yes, beautifully read, Jackie, and I think it's fair to say is that Casino Beef Week has captured the imagination of the nation, and I was just wondering if you entered the Miss Beef Week Queen, whether you'd have a favourite brand of beef that you'd like to represent.
Oh, well, probably Hereford.
Hereford, yes, yes. And the Beef Week, of course, I think runs all this week, culminating in the running of the Beef Week Cup at Casino on Friday.
Oh, really?
And I think it would be great to go as, you know, a representative of the beef community to that great event, which would be a touch of glamour.
Are they riding cattle, they shield horses?
No, it's a mixed event. Horses up against cows. Now, the other thing was, I thought that the Petrol Museum was a terrific place to visit. I mean, I could stay there for hours. I don't know about you. Do you think there's enough for people to stop and pause in the Katingal area there?
Oh, I do think so, yes. And the enthusiasm of the gentleman.
Is it the sort of thing that if you were driving, say, from, just on the off chance, from, say, Brisbane to Sydney, that you'd make a detour to Katingal to have a look? Or do you think you'd want more to draw you out that way?
Oh, no, I thought it was pretty fascinating.
Yes, yes.
Singing in the Rain, Jackie, how's it going? I noticed, of course, you're part of the ensemble. This is the David Atkins directed Singing in the Rain. It was reviewed marvellously. HG and myself think it's the best bit of theatre we've seen in many, many years. How's it going from your perspective?
Oh, fabulous. It's, we're getting a great response from the audiences. We're getting full houses and they just love it. And they have a great laugh and they go out feeling uplifted. So that's great.
Is it faithful to the film Singing in the Rain? Because I don't think there's been a production, a stage production of it at all.
There hasn't.
No.
Certainly, they're just starting to do productions in America, I believe. But this particular one, David Atkins has been very faithful. The choreography's practically step-by-step faithful to Gene Kelly's choreography.
And I understand the Rain's pretty faithful to the original as well.
Yes.
You drench the dancers in that fabulous sequence where they're singing in the rain, literally. And most of the audience get wet as well, which I think is a lovely touch.
Yes. So do they.
On a cold winter's night, staggering out, knowing that you've been drenched inside as you make your way to the car on the way home.
A part of the experience, yeah.
Should people bring raincoats?
And some of them are.
All right.
Some of them are sitting in the front row with nice plastic things across the...
Yes, oh, that's very good.
Yeah. Now, Jackie, you've been in the entertainment industry, as you mentioned in the rural and regional news of Australia. You've multi-mower winning, multi-award winning. You go back, I think it was Sammy Davis Jr., who took you not only around Australia but overseas to Lake Tahoe in the United States. Yeah. How was that? And did you get in touch with the mafia at all? Did you meet Jimmy the Weasel Fratiano, for example, or any of those sorts of characters?
It was pretty exciting times. I was young, and it was my first trip to America, and pretty daunting. But I had a wonderful time, and Sammy Davis was very sort of protective of me and wanted me to perform in, say, Lake Tahoe rather than Vegas. He thought that was a nicer environment for someone my age. And as far as I know, I didn't meet any mafia people.
Right.
Now, you're, speaking of this, developing a point here, you can speak a number of different languages.
Oh, no.
And often when you're touring and you're in a country that doesn't speak English, you include a song from the local language.
That's true.
You may not have been to Bolivia, but what sort of song would you sing in Bolivia?
What do they speak in Bolivia?
All right, there we go. Spanish, probably.
Spanish.
I'd love to learn a Spanish song. I don't know a Spanish song yet. I know a Cantonese song.
Right.
It's a bit further across.
Yes, well, yeah.
And how many songs have you got? Is it the same sort of song like Kumbaya in 50 languages?
No.
The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
About 11 different songs in different languages that are popular in the country.
Yeah. And do you learn the language so you can speak it out and about, or do you just learn the song?
I learned the song phonetically.
Yeah. Oh, OK.
Yes.
Oh,
and have you ever
great.
made a mistake, like turn up in Brazil and sing in Spanish?
No, it's been...
Pretty safe so far?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, they clapped, so...
Yes.
Yeah. And Singing in the Rain goes out, it runs forever. Of course, you're in Sydney until when? September?
September, mid-September.
Then off to...
Then we go to Melbourne.
Yes.
And then Brisbane, and then Perth.
Right.
And then I believe it's off overseas as well, so...
Bloody hell.
Yes, I'm just wondering if it could open a whole new form of things, of adapting films into stage shows. Normally it's the other way around, of course, but I'm just trying to wonder whether you could make The Terminator into a musical. Moulin Rouge!
Into
What a great
show.
idea.
How about that?
Moulin Rouge into a stage show.
I like the idea of Terminator. I think that'd be very challenging.
We just have to write a couple of songs, but that'd be pretty easy enough to do.
Yeah.
Look, Jackie, all the best with Singing in the Rain, and if you're going, remember to take your raincoat. And we'd like to present you with this, that you might be able to slip into the costume of Lena Lamont.
I think I could too. Oh, that's wonderful.
And that's the belt buckle from the dump. And if you'd just like to look down the camera here, and we ask the audience here to thank Jackie Love!
Next, a royal commission into the HIH disaster, a lone sailor's dramatic sea rescue, and Nicole Kidman shines at the Moulin Rouge premiere.
If you've got something to say about us, I'd rather you just said it.
Words don't always come easily.
If I say it, then I can't unsay it.
But one simple word...
The L word?
...can be a real tongue twister.
I stuffed it up, didn't I?
On Home and Away tomorrow.
Go Harvey Norman for 36 months interest-free terms. 36 months interest-free on bedroom suites, ensembles, mattresses, Manchester and much more. 36 months interest-free terms now at Harvey Norman. Minimum purchase $500, 1/3 deposit. Conditions apply. See store for details.
Meet Joe Dirt. He's sexy. And he has the best mullet in town. From the producing team of Deuce Bigelow and Big Daddy,
I can see down your shirt.
David Spade is Joe Dirt at cinemas May 24.
The International Year of Volunteers is a time to recognise the extraordinary contribution ordinary Australians have made to our country. So why do they do it?
We thought we'll give back something to the country and its wonderful people.
I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
I can work with young people, give them some of my experience.
I think it's a great way to get involved in your community.
You too can be a volunteer. To find out how, call this number. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Makona Mystique for lovers of coffee.
Suddenly, the biggest obstacles are no problem. Whirlpool's creative shelving system allows customised storage for tall or oversized items. The new Conquest refrigerator from Whirlpool. It's the conquest of space. Whirlpool brings quality to life.
Yes, welcome back to the dump. And Roy, those internet poll results, gee, we'll pass these straight away onto the shark.
Yep.
When you get them.
Yep, they are as follows, HG. The great white shark is an absolute champion, 11%.
Yes.
Is Mr. Holden statesman, 3%. Could become Mr. Toyota, 37%.
Oh, that surprised me, that
does
number.
too. Looks an arse clown in any car, 49%.
Yes. Yes. Now, we are pushing on with the Queen's Dumpster Awards scheme here on the Monday Dump. We've had hundreds and hundreds of entries. However, the point of the project is not quite getting across. And, Roy, you've got a sample
I've got an example of a dud here.
Yes.
This is the Dumpster Awards scheme we launched a couple of weeks ago. Now, here's a chap, Andrew Keane, who's written to the office of Pope John Paul II at the Vatican in Rome and Italy. That's good. However, the subject matter disturbs me. It says, Dear Your Holiness, as you know, there are many issues to deal with in modern-day society. Possibly the most significant issue in society today is the ongoing feud between Mark Philippoussis and the Australian tennis team. Well, His Holiness doesn't need this rubbish to worry about. Yeah. And even though you've got a JP to witness it, Sylvia Hau, by the looks, it doesn't qualify because it is not advancing world peace, which I think is the dumpster award you were going for. Yes. World peace. If you ask His Holiness to step into the Middle East or into Aceh, yes, or some other trouble spot in the world, then that would be fine. Tick the box, you'd have the white, and you'd be away. So we don't need that sort of rubbish.
Now, however, we are allowing people to respond by mail.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of people aren't on the net, but they want to get involved. Who doesn't want to get involved in the Queen's Dumpster scheme? Yes. And you are able to submit by mail your entries, Roy, and the mail address is...
Yes, I wrote it down somewhere. Look,
well,
I think it's...
The Monday Dump, Mobs Lane, Epping...
Yeah, Channel 7.
Sorry.
Mobs Lane, Epping.
Yes, right. Channel 7, Mobs Lane, Epping, 2121. Now, you've got an email there to start with?
HG. This comes from Alison, who says, a big happy birthday to Roy. Did you happen to catch Sale of the Century on Wednesday, the 9th of May? I didn't. Now, a viewer's question related, apparently, to me. It says, born on this date, no, blah, 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 in Lithgow was who? Well, it's not true. I wasn't born on that day. So, Sale was wrong. So it does make you wonder about the whole bloody calibre of it. Sale! I mean, if they're wrong on this sort of stuff, which is easy to find out, they've got to phone me. But no, they made it up. They make up answers.
Yes. Well, that's horrible. Look, I've got one here from Jenny Giesiker. She says, can you give my dad's business a plug? It's sports-related. Just tell everyone to have a bet with Dennis Giesiker at every horse racing meeting in Sydney. So continuing a racing theme, I think that's tremendous. I'm not sure this will do anything for Dennis's business, but I'd love to think people would be bypassing the Robert Waterhouse stand and making a beeline for Dennis's to bet on Hello Boys when
is this what we call an SP outfit?
Oh, well, it would be interesting if it was, but I don't think it is.
No.
I think it's all above board.
Oh, good. This comes from Narelle Riley in Sunbury, who says, the Lithgow Panther is just another example of New South Wales playing catch-up with Victoria. We've had the Lancefield Panther for over a decade. And I have to say the pictures look frightfully familiar as the Lithgow Panther. Mind you, we're a bit light on with Lithgow Panther news.
It's gone very, very quiet.
Very quiet. As far as I know, a couple of 100,000 people were out looking for the bloody bugger recently, and nothing's been found yet. But keep your eyes peeled.
It does,
because they're out there.
It does bear out your theory that it's somebody dressed up in a black bag, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yes, yes. Look, I've got another one here, a terrific one here from Paul and Wendy.
Yeah.
This comes from Sunday Brisbane Mail, or, you know, they've noticed this in the Sunday Mail in Brisbane. Did you hear about the Centenary of Federation Poetry competition in Pine River Shire that has failed to come up with a winner? Why? Because no one bothered to enter. Not one of the 114,000 residents entered the competition in verse or prose to write 100 words for 100 years. The first prize, and this is where I think the competition fell over slightly, the first prize was, in the competition, 100 words in 100 years, was 2 tickets to a John Williamson concert.
What, in the area, or did they have to travel?
No, they had to travel
several thousand kilometres.
and John wasn't actually performing for the next, well, nearly until 3 years, so it was hard to catch. And obviously the Shire wasn't getting run over with entries or having to produce a prize. But that is sad that people...
It is sad, isn't it? Couldn't think of 100 words in 100 days. John and Danielle Simpson, HG, they got married on Friday and are on their honeymoon in Hamilton Island.
Yes.
We're putting our honeymoon itinerary on hold as we just want to watch the Monday Dump. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your lives together, kids.
It's got pretty boring so far. Look, what worries me about that is the Monday Dump only lasts an hour. How can they put it on hold? They just put it on hold for that hour, their honeymoon, or the whole thing's gone, you know, into sort of some sort of slow...
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't quite follow it either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're at it like rabbits. They're going to stop for an hour.
Yeah. Then get back on the job straight as
thanks, John and Danielle. You can get back on the job in a couple of minutes.
Yes, that's right. Now, the mail address again, if you want to get in touch with us in the conventional manner or the non-electronic manner, Channel 7, Mobs Lane, Epping 2121. That's the Monday Dump at the top. in case you have your affidavit signed by the local JP, Roy.
Actually, I've just got one final email here. Re John Hopawati and his wandering
Doesn't
digit.
he always produce a giggle in the audience?
He does, doesn't he?
It's not right, is it?
John Hopawati.
Yeah. See, that's
better. Oh, that's better. Why don't any of his victims show the slightest wince or sign of surprise? It's a bloody good point. And this is raised by Adam Sinclair. And he's absolutely right. I mean, they took it as read, didn't they? They're just lying there and not a movement.
Yeah, that's right.
I suppose they knew Hopper's involved. A bit of... Thanks, mate.
I think it's fair to say that after, say, you know, who was it? Wendell Saylor.
Yeah.
He said the tackle that he was hit with on the weekend was the best in 9 years, and that he was absolutely concussed and vomiting at the same time, couldn't find his way off the field, had to lie down there for about 10 minutes before he could get the strength to stand up.
Right.
I suppose, you know, a touch-up at the other end seems slight in comparison with that.
Well,
I don't want to encourage
No, but you'd be much happier with it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
You know, it's old Hopper, he's not going to hit me, he's just going to...
Anyway,
you just have to loosen yourself a little bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Just sort of relax into it.
Yeah,
relax in the tackle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Anyway...
Tighten up and you're bugging.
Yeah, that's right. Quite literally. Anyway, with that, on that rather sobering note, we say farewell from the Monday Dump. Hope you can join us next week. There's more of it. Hang on to it.